Hey everybody, Mary Farias here. Okay, horse show day 2. I have a hat on, hat hair, but I'm here with you to study how to study Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. So we're on day 5. Okay, so we're talking about page 31, 3 feet from gold. He says one of the most, oh, I have to put on my 5 minutes. One of the most common causes of failure is the habit of quitting when one is overtaken by temporary defeat. Every person is guilty of this mistake at one time or another. An uncle of R.U. Darby was caught by the gold fever in the gold rush days and went west to dig and grow rich. He had never heard that more gold has been mined in the brains of man than has ever been taken from the earth. He staked a claim and went to work with pick and shovel. The going was hard, but his lust for gold was definite. After weeks of labor, he was rewarded by the discovery of the shining ore. He needed machinery to build the ore or bring the ore to the surface. Quietly, he covered up the mine, retraced his footsteps to his home in Williamsburg, Maryland, told his relatives and a few neighbors of the strike. They got together money for the needed machinery, had it shipped. The uncle and Darby went back to work the mine. The first car of ore was mined and shipped to a smelter. The returns proved they had one of the richest mines in Colorado. A few more cars of that ore would clear the debts. Then would come the big killing and profits. Down went the drills, up went the hopes of Darby and Uncle. Then something happened. The vein of gold ore disappeared. They had come to the end of the rainbow, and the pot of gold was no longer there. They drilled on desperately, trying to pick up the vein again, all to no avail. Finally, they decided to quit. They sold the machinery to a junk man for a few $100s and took the train back home. Some junk men are dumb, but this one was not. He called in a mining engineer and took a look at the mine and did a little calculating. The engineer advised that the project had failed because the owners were not familiar with fault lines. His calculations showed that the vein would be found just 3 feet from where the Darbys had stopped drilling. That is exactly where it was found. Well, we all can identify, I think, with the Darbys and having thought, oh, I've tried so hard, and nothing happened. So I must not be cut out for this. I'm going to quit. Well, persistence is what is necessary. Napoleon Hill talks about persistence a little bit later in this book in chapter 9, but he's talking about the fact that you never give up on your goal. Bob Proctor says the goal does not change. The plan will change, but the goal does not. So we have to understand that quitting is actually a habit. As Napoleon Hill says, one of the most common causes of failure is the habit of quitting when one is overtaken by temporary defeat. How many times have we succeeded after and only after we were temporarily defeated, right? You know what? A couple days ago, I fell off my horse, and yeah, that was a defeat. That was quite a failure in that moment. However, my instructor told me exactly what I did wrong, exactly what I needed to do in the situation when it arose again. And guess what? I got back in the saddle and I went through the course again, and I had the opportunity to do exactly what my instructor instructed me to do uh, after I fell. And guess what? I stayed on, but I learned from it. So that temporary defeat was a learning experience. Had I not gotten back on the horse, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do it again and try it again. So temporary defeat is necessary for us to keep moving forward. We have to learn in order to not make that mistake again, so we can move forward in a more quick fashion towards our goals. In fact, we have to get into that mode of actually embracing temporary failure, because temporary failure means we're learning a lesson. So if you are up against some sort of failure, I don't care if it's big or small, ask yourself, what lesson am I learning and what can I take forward from here so that I can move into the future me and have my goal? All right, that's it. 5 minutes. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.